be doing. Anything a bodybuilder or weightlifter is doing to increase muscle mass is something we should all be doing, especially elderly folks, by the way. These short-chain fatty acids and intermittent fasting and fiber and probiotics, because of their ability to upregulate the short-chain fatty acids, is very important for folks in nursing homes, for elderly people, for people recovering from surgery, or for people recovering from cancer, or people who are dealing with cancer. Intermittent fasting for cancer, intermittent fasting for bodybuilders, intermittent fasting for weightlifters, intermittent fasting for Alzheimer's disease victims, or for folks who have epilepsy or seizure disorders. You guys, none of this requires a doctor. None of this requires the medical model. None of this requires prescriptions. If you're on Dilantin or Tegretol or any nasty prescription drugs, you're missing the boat. Not only that, if you're on a prescription drug, you're being victimized. Just think about it for a minute or two, the ludicrous nature of using a drug for a chronic degenerative disease, a statin drug, for example, for a chronic degenerative disease, and then having some doctor, boneheaded medical professional, point to statistics and measurements to, we know it lowers cholesterol by 22%, and you'll decrease your risk of a heart attack, by 1 or 2%. That's why we give you the statin drugs. The ludicrous nature of using a poison, a toxin, a deadly toxin on the body, and then pointing to measurements and statistics to justify its craziness, is absolutely not just asinine, it is victimization. It's predatory and exploitative. All you got to do is think about it for a couple of seconds. We have all these wonderful non-toxic health strategies. Something as simple as eating more fiber and probiotic bacteria and intermittent fasting can have way more health benefits for every single system in your body without toxicity, without waiting in line at the pharmacy, without having to deal with the degrading forms and procedures that doctors have to do to check you up. That's why I do this program, and that's why we talk about these strategies every day, 5 days a week. We talk about these strategies. I want to show you how real this is, how scientific this is. There's still this idea that nutrition is somehow airy-fairy, fasting. I can tell when I'm talking to somebody on the phone if I mention fasting or I mention digestive health or the food or food choices or dietary choices for somebody who has a heart disease or somebody who has an autoimmune health issue. I can tell sometimes there's a little bit of doubt. Oh my God, who is this flaky pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado, talking about food and talking about fasting? I'm sick. I need medicine. I need something real. This is real. And that's what we talk about here every day on The Bright Side. The real science, the hardcore science behind some of these strategies that we all know we're supposed to be doing, but we don't always do. Fasting, eating better, nutritionally supplementing, getting you on a good nutritional supplement program. If you just want to check it out for yourself, get on the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. Try for 2 weeks. Do it. You don't have to do 2 full scoops every day. Just do a little bit in some water and notice how much better you feel. Notice how much more energy you have. Notice how your appetite is decreasing, how you need less food to feel full, etc. Something as simple as the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, let alone incorporating all the strategies we talk about, including the essential fatty acids and short-chain fatty acids and intermittent fasting and deep breathing. All of these are non-toxic, easy-to-use strategies. They're inexpensive, and they really work. Not pretend work, not virtually work. They really actually work to lower blood pressure, drop the pounds off your body, resensitize your blood sugar system and your insulin system, and just make you feel better. All right, 844-236-6010 is our number. Tomorrow we'll just talk a little bit more about short-chain fatty acids, and then I'm going to get into some skin stuff. I've been wanting to talk about skin here for a while. Got so much here I want to tell you about. I've got a couple more things about nitric oxide I want to talk about too. We'll get to all that tomorrow as we continue talking about short-chain fatty acids and health on The Bright Side. 844-236-6010 is our number. Let's go to Maine and welcome Chris to The Bright Side. What's up, Chris?
Hey, Ben, how you doing? I just have a few quick questions about a few foods and food additives. We'll get to what we can, but first, I'm actually a home care provider for an elderly man, and if you or any of the listeners have never been in a place where they do dialysis, it looks like the lethal injection chambers from World War II.
Yeah, it's awful.
I mean, no joke. Like, I walked in there, and his daughter doesn't even really, she's not even really on board with a lot of this stuff, and the good and the bad thing about the older generation is that they are very trusting. So they trust the doctors and they trust the medic because they grew up in a generation where it's like, hey, everybody's really legit. Like, everybody's actually out there to help you.
Yeah, the government, the doctors.
Yeah, which I mean, essentially kind of was true, but then you had a very generational shift after that, which came to, hey, let's scam everybody because they'll totally believe it. So,
how old are you, Chris? How old are you?
I'm 29 years old.
What's your take as a member of, I guess you're Generation Y, they call it. Are you Generation Y, or is it Generation, I think you're Generation Y. What's your take on authority, the government?
Well, we're kind of that missed generation. I mean, it's 50-50 with the people I know. I have, like, half my generation grew up where, like, we realized everything was a total scam and everything was, like, just a whole crank of crap. And then you have the other half of my generation, which is, like, whatever, we're just going to, like, completely, like, blank out the issue. Like, we know what's happening, we're just not going to believe it. And,
where do you fit? Yeah, where do you fit in? Where do you fit in?
Oh, well, I think everything's a whole crank of crap. I mean, the entire system is out to scam everybody, and what are you going to do? I mean, are you just going to, like, wait in the shadows for everything to collapse and then try to emerge with the good people, or are you going to try to take it on now? I mean, I'm actually right over the border from New Hampshire. I originally moved to New Hampshire to be part of the Free State Project, the big libertarian movement, to basically passively get into politics and rechange everything as much as possible, which has been very, very, very successful in New Hampshire.
Tell the listeners what New Hampshire's motto is, state motto.
Live free or die.
I love it. Live free or die.
Yeah. Well, actually, one of the funniest things that I had thought of when I first moved to New Hampshire, I'm probably going to end up moving back. I just moved over the border because I found really cheap farmland. But
beautiful state, by the way. Gorgeous state. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah,
New Hampshire's beautiful.
With the mountains of north and everything, it's absolutely beautiful. But I realized that if you live in New Hampshire and you're a resident of New Hampshire, you can drive around with a loaded handgun with your seatbelt off without car insurance while drinking raw milk.
Oh, is that right? You could drink raw milk there legally?
You can drink raw milk with a loaded handgun. Awesome. Well, not it's funny, but I didn't even get to my questions yet.
Chris, we got to take a break. That was enjoyable. I like talking to you, buddy. But hang on a second because we got to take a break and then we'll get to your questions. Okay. Okay. Thanks, Chris. All right. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. 844-236-6010. Love my smart listeners. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll come back with Chris and take your calls as well. You're listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network.
Registered pharmacist Ben Fuchs ensures he gets the best use of his mineral supplements by using Longevity's Ultimate Enzymes.
If you start a nutritional supplement program and you find that you get loose stools more than you get any benefits from the supplements, there's a good chance that you're not absorbing the minerals. Now, here's the thing about minerals and mineral absorption. You need to have a functioning fat system. You need to have functioning bile. You need to have a well-functioning liver and a well-functioning gallbladder in order to get the benefits from nutritional supplements with minerals. It's very common that as we get older, we don't absorb fats, we don't utilize fats, and then you won't be utilizing or absorbing minerals either. I would be getting on the Ultimate Enzymes from Longevity. I'd be making sure I was taking them with all my meals.
To get optimal use of your nutritional supplements, order Ultimate Enzymes from Longevity by calling 866-735-2470. That's 866-735-2470 or on the web at brightsidebed.com. That's brightsidebed.com. Order today.
So we decided to upgrade the look of our home.
You know, improve the curb appeal.
We decided to add the look of stone to the exterior.
We really like the stacked stone look.
Yeah, but when I checked into the price, it was ridiculous. No way could we afford it.
Then a friend told me about Genstone. Genstone.
Genstone comes in lightweight panels made of polyurethane. They've actually engineered the hassle out of installation. No mortar, no mesh. It was easy. Even I could do it.
We just screwed the panels to the wall and it looks like stone. I mean, it really looks like stone.
Yeah, from the box to the wall in minutes.
We love the look of our home now.
And Genstone is durable, comes with a 25-year warranty, and offers additional R-value for insulation.
If you want the look of stone at a price you can afford, call Genstone
at 855-955-STONE.
Trust me, you'll save money.
And you'll love the look.
855-955-STONE. That's 855-955-7866.
We live in a complicated society. Stressful issues are always popping up. Have you ever been treated unfairly by someone? Have you ever been overcharged for a repair? Have you ever signed a contract or a document worried about identity theft? How many times have you been in those unique situations where you just wanted to call an attorney to find out if you're right or wrong, or what your legal rights are? But every time you think about calling an attorney, what do you think about first? That's right. Who do you call, and how much will it cost? Our friends at Legal Shield have found a solution. With a nationwide network of 6,900 attorneys who average 19 years of experience, Legal Shield's law firms take over 40,000 calls per week helping their members. For less than $20 per month, you can have access to Legal Shield on everything from the trivial to the traumatic. Let Legal Shield stand up for your rights at lsprotection.com. That's lsprotection.com. Or call 855-340-SAVE, 855-340-7283.
Results will vary from case to case.
The human body is extraordinary. Despite all the stresses we inflict upon it, it still works hard to stay in balance. Thousands upon thousands of people rely upon Heart and Body Extract to help their body stay balanced. This excellent 100% natural herbal formula helps maintain healthy blood pressure levels, cleans arteries, promotes good circulation, balances cholesterol, and more. HB Extract, paired with healthy lifestyle choices like good nutrition and exercise, can give you a life free of pain, sickness, and fear. Recapture your youthful vitality and experience your body healing itself with the aid of HB Extract. It's extremely effective and it starts working in just days. Visit hbextract.com to learn more and to read scores of testimonials from satisfied customers. And we've never increased our price in over 10 years. That makes Heart and Body Extract as great a value now as it was the first day we sold it. A healthy heart is a happy heart. Call 866-295-5305 or go to hbextract.com.
A little right, a little left, but always independent-minded. The Genesis Communications Network, GCN.
Okay, we are back on the bright side talking to Chris in Maine. Our number's 844-236-6010. By the way, I got a couple lines open for you. Chris, real quick, we'll get to your questions here in a sec. What woke you up as a 29-year-old? What was the first thing you noticed that made you a little suspicious of the status quo and the establishment?
Well, I'd have to say probably by the time I was 22 or 23, I started listening to Coast to Coast AM, when people like Alex Jones and other people were getting on the show. Economists, especially like Gerald Celente and a lot of different economists that are on. When I really listened to the economists and I studied that heavily, I realized, wow, we're totally being scammed. And then so what I started doing was I started working on organic farms because I realized when your currency's inflationary rate gets above the cost of food is the only thing that you can look to at the bottom line as a pledge against inflation. I mean, there's other things too, but you got to get into food. So.
That's great. So you're getting into farming, organic farming?
Well, I've been doing it for like 7 years on and off. Now I'm doing it on my own. Like I just have my own, little system going. But I was working on a lot of organic farms around the world, and I actually just worked at a big one in New Hampshire, one of the biggest ones in New Hampshire, for 2 years as a sales rep. And now I'm just I'm doing home care providing as a profession now, but I'm doing my own organic farming.
Well, good deal. How can we help you today, Chris?
Okay, first question. Raw organic cacao. I heard that has really high copper levels. Does the copper level, is it too unbalanced with the zinc level?
No. Not at all. It does have high copper, has high iron, has high magnesium, has lots of things, high B vitamins, phytonutrients. It's amazing stuff. Raw organic cacao powder. It tastes like crap, though. I hate the way it tastes. Do you like it?
Yeah, I mix it into like smoothies and stuff like that. So,
you mix it with berries or something. It works good with berries, but it's a great source of minerals, magnesium, iron, copper. It's just great stuff. Fiber. If you grind up the cacao, by the way, if you get a Vitamix, you can grind it right up in the Vitamix. You can make chocolate bread in the Vitamix. If you put a flour and water and some yeast, maybe some baking soda or baking powder, in with some cacao powder and a little honey, you can make wonderful bread, chocolate bread or cacao bread in a Vitamix. Just as an aside.
I'll keep that in mind. Another question really quick. Pumpkin seeds, do they have a really good zinc level?
They're crazy good. Make sure they're not cooked. Make sure they're not roasted. You lose a lot of the enzymes when they're roasted, and you change some of the nutritional value. But pumpkin seeds are amazing, especially for folks who have prostate problems. There's also essential fats in pumpkin seeds that are very helpful for the prostate, and they're just great. Seeds in general can be very powerful, but you gotta be careful because seeds contain sleepy time medicine to keep the seed asleep, and it'll keep your chemistry asleep a little bit too. So sprouting your seeds is a good idea, but there's lots of nutritional value in, at least from a nutrient standpoint, in seeds, pumpkin seeds especially. What else were you going to ask?
Xanthan xanthan gum and something called sodium carboxymethylcellulose, I believe.
Okay. Both of them are vegetable derivatives. Xanthan gum is a secretion that comes out of bacteria. It's not a vegetable derivative. It's a bacterial fermentation product. It's pretty inert. It's used in pharmaceutical preparations and in food preparations to make liquids have a little bit of body to them. Sometimes they'll put them in puddings. I've been using it in skincare for a long time. It's basically inert. It's not going to really do anything for you.
But isn't it fermented corn syrup? That was the only thing I was worried about.
It's not fermented. It's not fermented corn syrup. It's a fermentation byproduct. In other words, bacteria munch